Welcome, guys, to Intuitive Tuesdays with Chelsea and I. This is our second episode, and we're excited to have you. Say hi, Chelsea.
Hey, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me again. Intuitive Tuesday. Let's go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just so much fun, and we're just starting this, so I'm excited. So today we're going to talk about the sister wound, and just so you all know, Chelsea has no idea what I'm going to slam her with. We don't pre-plan these things. We just run with it. But before we get started, I'm going to let you guys know. Tell them about the Tarot Tuesday event you have coming up at the Aloe Healing Center.
Okay, yeah. So this upcoming July on the 9th, we are having an event. It's going to be a tarot night. I'm going to be there. It's a pop-up, so I'll be doing tarot and mediumship readings if you're interested in that. We're going to post the pricing and everything, but if it's free to attend, and then you would purchase a reading um to with us, and it's like getting coffee with your best friend. Um it's not me. I need the advice as much as everybody else. I'm just tuning into a frequency to get a message that's relatable to you from your spirit guides and your guardian angels. And I think that we could have a lot of fun and really connect. And I'm excited to get to know you guys. So, yeah, click the link below to come to Tarot Tuesday in July. All right?
July 9th at 6:30 in Clayton at the Aloe
Yes.
Healing Center, second floor of our Atmosphere.
Yes,
And they
second
start at
floor.
as 10 minutes, right? As low as 10-minute sessions.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I think the best sampler is a good 15 minutes for just $22. But if you really want details, you can go longer. But usually on these nights, I'm just here to do the quick reads and have some fun and dip in there and like
Yeah,
see what's going on, what advice we got, you know?
awesome. I'm so excited.
Mhm.
Thank you,
You
Chelsea, for
can,
that.
yeah, you can ask like, what should I be proud of? What should I focus on? Um, there's if you have options you're considering, you don't know which one to take, we could just talk it out and see the outcome of both and kind of give you some foresight into the decision you're trying to make. Like, honestly, we can dip into any part of your life, and it's always motivational and uplifting. I'm here to make like life feel a little bit better
Yes.
afterwards.
And you
Hmm.
definitely bring that energy because I always feel like excitable when we hang, like. So I
It's
appreciate you coming
fun.
on. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the sister wound, not to get all like weird, but we have a lot of women in this community, and overall, and I want to go back a little bit in time. I know we're also gonna celebrating and honoring LGBTQ community here this month for Pride Month for June, and something you mentioned earlier about how it does differ, which we'll go back to. But I think that from the beginning of time, as men holding more of the a patriarchal energy of control and power, and like um branding women as like the lesser sex, and that goes back to like the Bible era, and
Oh yeah.
there were many women healers that were unacknowledged in the Bible, and one being Mary Magdalene, that was very prominent in the life of Jesus. Not that I'm going to get into that, but the whole thing is that when women come together in a group, the synergy, the power, the fact that we're creators, that we're big manifestors, that we can make something from nothing, and we amplify things, we multiply things, a home, a baby, like that's just our innate abilities. So it makes sense for them to separate us, to have us compete against one another. And I've
Mhm.
noticed even in this community, the spiritual community, there's still a lot of that egoic, wounded energy of feeling that catty or like competitive, or like just crawling over each other to get to the top, when we know there's like infinite amount of stars in the sky. There's enough space for all of us to shine. And I've had people come grasping, whenever they feel that maybe like I'm onto something and they want in on it. And then I realize that they're in it more for them and not for me. And it's a whole big dance. And wow, we definitely want to empathize with people in their wounds. Sometimes we have to bring that other side out and hold those boundaries, but we want to heal that. We want our sisters to know that it does not have to be this way. We can applaud one another and yet all win at the same time. So, and when your sister wins something or is excelling, that means that your blessing is right around the corner. And but that's not the mindset right now. We still have a lot way to go. And I know I just said a whole lot, and I definitely want you to do a reading for our ladies, so that we can speak to this messaging and what they should be working towards and so forth. And I just landed something heavy.
Oh,
Sister,
you're good. We're
what,
here to
what,
spill the
what?
tea. We're here to spill the tea, okay? We're talking
Yes,
about
that's
real
right.
life.
That's
I am
right.
not like I want you to feel good, but the only way you can really truly feel good is if you deal with those lows and you deal with those struggles. I want to first talk about I do want to say that like I do channel as I get cards, so I will hear things like and that needs to be added before I draw the cards, but basically what I really want to talk about is competitive versus collaborative and how like the imbalance really is because I don't truly believe like a lot of this is systemic. It's not like a conscious thing that like guys are walking around like I'm gonna make women compete. Like nobody's doing that. This is like ingrained in our society. Oh, so sorry about that. It's like ingrained in our society and like honestly, it's it's competitive is a masculine trait and we do need to be competitive to a certain extent because it's good for our survival, but we got to be balanced in both feminine and masculine energies. Competitive is masculine. Collaborative, working together, building together, is a feminine trait, right? But our society has been so drenched in masculine takeover basically, and like I said, not any one dude is responsible for this. This is like
No, we're
long-term
not.
struggle. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're not here to like bash men,
Gosh,
but like
we're not bashing
we
men.
the society has been ruled by masculinity and femininity has really been ignored. So like the fact that women feel they need to compete, even the most feminine people in the world are more comfortable in their masculine energy of like competition and moving forward in survival because that's our society.
Mhm.
Like that's our society. So even the most like girliest girl you ever meet can still be more comfortable in her masculine energies, which is an imbalance. Like that's proof of the imbalance because even the most feminine of people like struggle with their feminine energy. And that's the problem. Like we all need to get in touch with that. And like feminine energy, it's not so much of like being girly, it's like it's feeling safe. And there's just a lot of us that don't feel safe for various reasons, all right? It's tough out there. It's real tough out there. And the only way you can truly thrive and be collaborative and be a safe person is to find that safety within yourself. So what that means is what it really means is that people are uncomfortable in their masculine energy, so they act from a wounded place because they're too scared to access the wounded energy, too scared to like push through. And that is not your problem. Like, side note, that is not, if someone is like hurt people, I hate that phrase because like you get one chance. I can keep control of my emotions and not act like make my wounds your problem. So if you make your wounds and you're like throwing up bad energy on other people, that is not acceptable. That is not an excuse at all. But we do need to realize that we are the master of our emotions. And it's like, how it's not easy. it's real easy to say this, but like honestly, it's about feeling safe and wanting to be comfortable in your feminine energy of receiving. It's like feeling safe enough to be a lighthouse and draw people towards you, you know? But there's no safety. And the less we feel safe, the more in survival mode we are, the more competitive we are. And the more we're more likely to like feel like it's us against them type of mentality, you
Absolutely.
know?
And while
So it does,
we empathize with those women, we still are not going to take on that energy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. We're not saying hold, like, set your boundaries with people. Do not accept bad treatment because you don't deserve it. Like they need to get control of their emotions and not use you as a punching bag. So this is by all means like an excuse or anything, but people have these wounds and this is real. It's so hard. You think you are like the most spiritual person ever. Like you think you are above it, and then you hit a new wall, a new obstacle, and it brings that wound right out of you again.
Because it needs to be, and that's what
Yeah,
it
because it's
resurfaces over and over.
yeah, it does until you fully heal it. And it's like being aware of that is so hard because the society keeps you so busy, always moving forward, always the next thing, always the next thing, you know? So, like being safe in your divine feminine to do this. So, we have a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories, especially in a female dominated industry like this. Like, there are a lot of stories of like women get together. And I do feel like a lot of it is contrived because I work with many women that like really we are a team. Like we work together, we support one another. And as we support, we call ourselves the Avengers because we're all coming together because we're each like a superhero in our own section. And then we come together to make a bigger thing. And it's
Love
beautiful, but
that.
that's because each one of those people work on themselves.
Mhm. So they know what they need to work on individually and not
Exactly,
spread it.
exactly. And it's a high standard. It's a high standard to live. And like we're not perfect human beings, you know? So even if you feel like even that is the best person, you're gonna look back and be like, oh, I did not that I was kind of selfish in that moment, you
Yeah,
know?
and you know what? It's good to also recognize that and forgive self so that you can
Yeah.
move forward differently.
Yeah, like
Um,
we've all been there. Like we've all been hurt by people, but we've all been the person that
hurting.
did the hurt, you know? So it's
Mhm.
like I'm trying to approach this from like a non-judgmental space. Like,
Of
side note,
course,
if you
of
ever get a
course.
reading for me, like don't even worry about shocking me. I've heard it all, like all. I've heard it all. So like
I
don't
know.
even worry.
Me too.
But like I want people to feel safe and like I
Okay.
never judge anyone for like in the space as the reader. I don't judge people like I
No,
like you know, and it's
we're all
like put
human. hmm
but there
So what do
is
we
a
want to?
problem of competition coming in here, you know? Like
There you go.
there it is. Like it
And,
happens.
and
We
you didn't
are
even like.
competitive.
It just came out, right? It just came
Yeah,
out.
like I just split the deck. You watched me split the
Uh
deck, and
huh.
there it
Uh huh.
was. Five of Wands, competition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people that ooh, hello. People that they seem like your friend until things get really hard. And as soon as crap hits the fan, they're only in it for themselves, you know?
Survival again. Mm-hmm.
Survival.
Survival.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's hard not to take that personally. It's really hard not to take that personally. Um, and it's like, you don't have to be this perfect person with perfect feelings and, you know, like, I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
I feel that we are here to also mirror each other what we need to heal. And even though we don't like these experiences, when once you process the healing, you realize that that person was there to help bring something out to the lights. So we start to see them less as like an adversarial thing Obviously, you don't
Mm.
want to continue to accept that behavior, but you want to make amends and also heal the part of you that was triggered. Because there's a reason why you were triggered as well. Like one is triggered because of something within us that needs healing as well. So it's not always just about the other person, being
Yeah.
victimized by another person. It's also
Yeah.
something to heal within self.
And like sometimes we need to be triggered to process that. And I'm not saying yay triggers, but like sometimes we need the nudge. We need the nudge. Like we don't want to do the thing that we know we need to do. And like we keep putting it off. Eventually, someone's going to come and poke the wound because the universe is going to be like, hey, you got to look at that, you
Uh-huh.
know?
We
And
can't
it's
avoid it
not like,
forever,
yeah. And
especially.
when I, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. There's a little delay. No, I'm just saying we're teaching this to the public. So, of course, we're going to get triggered too. Like, we can't be in this role and not and not do the work.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
us what it,
absolutely. So, oh, look, there's the devil, the thing within us that we need to work on within that wound, you know? And like, it is, oh my gosh, look, here's the trigger right here. Boom, the tower.
power.
Like, you guys saw me shuffle it on here. Like, seriously, but this is the trigger. This is the tower. This is the betrayal, you know? I do have like my own wounds from my childhood, and I will find that in these moments, people often treat me like mistreat me exactly the same way I was mistreated as a child. Like not on the same scale, not as intense, like a less intense version, but
Yeah,
exactly the same behavior.
because
You
that's
know?
the wound that we need to heal.
Yeah, and I'm
It's,
like
mhm,
multiple times it has happened where I think I have healed this wound and then
mhm.
someone loses their crap and treats me exactly the way I was hurt. You know, like that exact specific way, you know, and I'm like, what? Like they could have done anything to me. Why did they have to do that? You know? And it's like, why? Why? Because your wound needs to heal and it's not going to stop hurting until you heal that wound, you know?
And the wound is where the light gets to enter.
Oh, yeah, look, there's a lightning bolt right there at the top coming in, like exploding, you know? And it's like, you're like, why do I always have to stand on my own? Like, I feel like some people watching this have been betrayed by a lot of friends. Like, a lot of friends. Like, I know there are some people, we all have things we struggle with. And I feel like there is a journey out there of the person that just struggles to find friends and find that found family. You know, they keep thinking they find it and then it just like falls apart, you know, and they're like, what's wrong with me? I love me. Like, why? You know? And it's like we all have our own like thing that we always need to work on. And it's not something that's like wrong within them. It's just we first of all, we can't go through life without problems. That's ridiculous. So like we're gonna have problems, but the beauty of it, the ugly, painful beauty of it is that the problems that come along are what we need to heal our childhood wounds inside. This is a page of wands, and that is for children or dogs or a childlike energy, you know? So like these fiascos often feel familiar
Yeah.
because they're for our highest good. It
Mhm.
hurts. Nobody likes this. Like it hurts. But like
So,
the reason BS comes up is because you need clarity that you don't have. There's a blind spot from this exact wound. There's a blind spot. And when the blind spot is revealed, that's when we can see it, you know. But sometimes people come in our lives to reveal what needs to be healed.
oh, I like that. That rhymes.
It sucks. It's true.
It
I do like
does.
it.
It does. It
It
does.
sucks. But like sometimes people come in to mistreat us to reveal what needs to be healed,
Mhm.
basically. So if someone has wronged you and you're really upset, it's a time to turn within and be like, what brought this to my door? Like what what within me is so hurt that I'm still attracting it into my life, you
And we
know?
have to take accountability too, because we're in a world where a lot of victim consciousness is a thing, and we need to own the parts of us that, contributed to that, instead of just like, well, she hurt me. She screwed
Okay.
me. Like, no, there's a twofold situation. So, what
Yeah.
message do we have for our sisters out there that's still in that wounded state? Um, let's see what the tarot has. What are the
The
advice?
causing of the causers of the competition, is that who we're talking to? Or the yeah? All
Or
right.
any, yeah, or anyone on either side of the
On
fence.
either side? Okay, I'm like, who am I talking to? Both of it. First of all of this, first we got the badass card. This is not a tarot card. This is a thank you card that the creators of the deck put in. It's the Modern Witch Tarot. I freaking love this deck.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
I do love this deck so
That's a
much.
good one.
But they put in this thank you card, and I decided to keep it because it says, you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. So I just say that's the badass card. So congratulations. The universe is calling you a badass. So yay for that. Um, and like they want you to know that like you wouldn't still be alive even like I know you're wounded and you like first we're talking to the person that might have caused the drama. Or it could be reversed. Either way. But basically what this is, if you have been hurt or done the hurting, all of this is responded by a return to self and a return to self-love. This is my Ace of Cups is my self-love card. And that is really time and self-love is really what heals all wounds. Like ridiculously, it's so cheesy. You see it on the Hallmark Channel, like
No.
time heals all wounds, but it does. Like slow
Mhm.
down, focus on you. Even if you're the one that caused it or like whatever, like set boundaries and take time for yourself because this is a call to go within. Whether you caused it or you didn't cause it or whatever the drama happens to be, that is a call to go within because you need to give yourself whatever you want from the other people or the other person. You need something and the other person or other people cannot offer it. So you need to give it to yourself. Okay? Like really, give it to yourself and know that you wouldn't be here if you weren't a badass. Like you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't have survived, you wouldn't have made it this far if you weren't willing to look within. Like you've overcome other things, now you can overcome this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank
You
you.
know? Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like you will get a second chance. Judgment is my second, third, fourth, fifth chance card. Like there is infinite opportunities. Infinite opportunities. I know I'm kind of going long, but recently I got a flat tire and was stuck on the side of the road and AAA wasn't coming for 2 hours, right? And people stopped and asked if I needed help and I was stubborn because I'm like, I can do it myself. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. Thank you. No. But like person after person after person kept showing up. And then eventually I got a really pushy couple that were like, let us just help. And the guy just started fixing my tire. And I was like, well, I'm not going to arm wrestle you for it. But that's the universe. They're like, if you're stubborn and you say no to an opportunity or you mess up one time and you hurt somebody and like it has serious effects, it has serious long term effects. This is like a real serious mess up, right? You will have opportunities to choose better in the future. Like we are not just one mistake.
I love that. I love
You
that
know?
so much, Chelsea. You really hit it in the heart, because we sometimes condemn ourselves, but we're going to have a chance to make our wrongs right. and we also have a chance to show up more healed.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Girl, this is
It's
good stuff. You see,
yeah.
guys, tarot is not just about reading about the future. She's got a bunch of wisdom to pour into you.
Like I need to hear it too. That's why I'm the reader. So like let's learn together, you know? Like
No, this
it
is so
really is.
good.
We get stuck in this lack mentality of like, oh, that was my one chance and I failed and no more chances. No more chance. No, there are infinite chances. There are infinite chances.
That is so healing, that message. And I think all of our sisters will receive that. So, on
Yeah.
behalf of Chelsea and I, if we hurt your feelings, we're sorry and we forgive you too. Let's keep it moving and let's keep going higher and more connected to our best selves, our higher selves. Thank you, Chelsea. That was very warm. We get infinite chances to make it right. Aw. All right, sister. My little fire dragon sister, because you're a fire dragon too, like me. So it's so cool that we share that connection.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to the next episode and we'll keep this going. Thank you.
Absolutely.